Greetings, Keechlings. Keech Prime here with my live reaction of Kingdom, Chapter 857. Alright, so, the Mountain Tribe, or the Mountain Army, um, they have gotten the mission from their queen. She will return, but they must ruckus. Use the rage of her fall to make the enemies fall in turn. So now we have Baoji, or Baoji. I swear I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's leading the charge there. We've got, does he even have a name? Then we've got Taifu, and then, crap, why am I so bad with their names? Her name's easy. Why can't I remember it? Knowing that Yotanwa had fallen, the 4 units led by Bajoy, or Beggio? I really don't know how to pronounce his name. Taijafoy, Shunman, and Kitari overwhelmed the enemy with fire-breathing fury. However, SSG, SSJ. Why did I say G? The overwhelming victory was limited to only those 4 units, which was not enough to change the tide of a massive battlefield with over 100,000 soldiers. Rather, with Sui Zhu, knowing that Yotanwa and Danto had fallen, his skillful tactics steadily shifted the battle in favor of the Zhao army. Yotanwa army headquarters. This is indeed bad. The Mountain Tribe army puts up a brave fight despite the trial of General Yotanwa's absence. But it is father. So who are you? I vaguely remembered you people. An appearance in this dire situation, a highly honorable foe. Their helmets look vaguely familiar, and the whole thing with the eyes seems more so. Reminds me of the eyes of the Keishan. What? Who are they? No, that mask, it can't be. The ones known as the Phantom Tribe. Okay, so maybe we haven't. I don't remember these. Then, even within the mountain clans, or tribes, said to be as rare as the ancient Mukam Panda. The Sages of the Mountains, the 100 Eyes Tribe. Why was the Phantom 100 Eyes Tribe suddenly appeared here? Okay, so the 100 Eyes Tribe. And the chief is called Hadama. And Udama is his daughter. What is it, Chief? Or Chief Gin? Come to think of it, I heard something vaguely from Yotanwa-sama once. That if something were to happen to Yotanwa-sama, someone would appear to take command in her place. But since a what-if scenario regarding Yotanwa-sama hasn't happened in years, they never once appeared. Then that proxy is this 100 Eyes Tribe? It is the height of sadness, Father, to think even the closest aides serving at HQ do not properly know of us. Do not lament, Udama. It is all Yotanwa's fault. What? Oh. Let me tell you. We have supported Yotanwa for years as her shadow strategist, devising strategies and tactics. Yotanwa hid our existence, saying she was afraid the 100 Eyes Tribe would be targeted and killed. As a result, she claimed all credit for past strategies and tactics as her own brilliance, and was hailed as a genius by all, and further solidified her popularity. That monster of vanity and exhibitionism. Okay, so now we know who the real masterminds are. I understand. So, the fact that you've come out now means you're taking command of headquarters? What else would I be? You monkeys. That was rude. Uh, that was rude to the ape hand tribe, Father. Ape hand? What are these stupid names? Wait a minute. Why the back of his helmet? It looks like something from frickin'. It looks like the owl head from 10. Wait. She was really young when she lost her family, and she crafted. Oh my god, what if this is actually where her family descends from? Ooh, which then even makes more sense now that she's a freaking strategist herself. But she only remembered some of the outfit. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's a stupid crack theory, but hey, you know. Bajoy and the others, hard fighting greatly demonstrated our rage to the enemy, but any more is unnecessary. Rather be careful not to lose those four. The Figo clan on the right will likely be defeated, but what we must focus on now is the Mira clan on the left. The reason is their opponent is Raboku's aide, Bananaji. His army is strong. Oh, excuse me. Huh? You even grasp an enemy general's name? Of course I know. I investigated the enemy lineup in detail before it began. Eh? Even though I didn't say it out loud. Oh crap. uh, so this is why they're called the 100 Eyes, essentially, because they see and know all. I know without you saying it, you monkey boy. Do not underestimate my father. Even among the 100 Eye tribe, who possess the greatest brains in the mountains, my father is feared as the divine intellect. And you are a genius who surpasses me. The divine intellect, Udama. So, oh, stop it. Oh my god. Oh, so what should we do now? I kind of like these people. The Fago's disadvantage will affect Baoji and the others in the center. Amidst that, Banana G will come to crush the Mira clan, whom we rely, because the enemy brain, Shu Suijun, will gather forces there, and they can't be stopped. That said, the center is barely holding together as is, and Yotanwa, who has the power to forcibly change the battle situation, is not here. They... What should we do about the Bananaji army? If even the Mira clan is defeated, we will surely suffer a crushing defeat. Exactly. Therefore, I have requested... Okay, his helmet is kind of freaky with the two that should be the eye holes? I don't know. Therefore, I have requested reinforcements. Since time is of the essence, I did it on my own authority. To think the mountain tribe army would expose such a disgraceful state so early in the battle. However, even if we become a dying body, as long as we do not actually die, it is fine. So, cutting off the hand to save the body, essentially, right? This will be incredibly turbulent, won't it, Father? If we become a dying body early on, erase our presence and endure. An unexpected opportunity may come our way. Of course, that is if Yotanwa does not die as it is what I mean. Of course, that is so, Udama. Where exactly did the did you request reinforcements from? It is a stroke of luck amidst misfortune. The man with the most flexible mind in this grand coalition army. Wait. That could be a couple people. Flexible, so I'm assuming Osen? Maybe? No. Moten. Okay. The Gakuka Moten was in the adjacent battlefield. General Rotanwa was struck down? Huh? No way. So they've been informed. Impossible. Yotanwa is not dead, but the army will likely be pushed back significantly from here on. Therefore, I wish to request the neighboring Moten army cross the mountain to the right with 10,000 reinforcements. I apologize, but I want you to stem the negative impact of the Yotanwa army's blunder here on your battlefield. Son of Hadanma of the Hundred Eyes. New Dama. I am New Dama. Good lord, it's just syllable and then Dama, so I guess that's a family name. What? The 10,000? So early in the battle? Stupid, that's impossible. He's thinking it over. Is General Yotama's life safe? I cannot say for sure right now. We are reading the flow of the battlefield on the assumption that she will survive. You're awfully fluent in the language of the plains, because I'm a genius. They're all just geniuses, apparently. The ego's on these ones. It was the Hundred Eyes tribe that translated the plains language for Yotanwa. Alright, I will send 12,000 to the right to revise how we fight here. Moten-sama, originally the Banana-G army on the right, was putting pressure on us as well. By crossing blades will bring them into my view. I am in your debt, General Moten. It helps that you are quick to understand. I will return to camp. Never forget the existence of the archer who shot Yotanwa and Danto, General Moten. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. So they even know truly about that as well. So they must know who it is that actually shot her. Not just that she was shot. I know. I'll send riders immediately to share this with all commanders. Tell the Yotanwa army's left wing to endure until our reinforcements arrive. Understood. As they ride on. Are you sure, Moten-sama? Even though we have more troops than the enemy here, 12,000 is... it can't be helped. Wait, did he say 12,000 originally? No, they were saying 10,000. It can't be helped. Like that messenger just said, if we don't firmly stop the impact here, it will create a distortion in the entire coalition army. But to think that General Yotanwa would fall so suddenly, does that mean Zraboku made his move by targeting the Yotanwa army, which is closest to the royal capital, Handan, right, first? I never expected to end up sending reinforcements to the Yotanwa army. If anything, I was paying attention to the battlefield to the left, the Haishin unit, which has elements of uncertainty. About half the combat power in the Haishin unit sector is the former Han army. However, how is the situation with the Kyokai army and the battlefield to the north of Hoken? Hoken. According to the scouts' report, the Kyokai army is being pushed back. Crap, another downfall. However, the area originally had 20,000 Kyokai troops against 50,000 of the Kisui Zhao army. Considering the difference in troop numbers, it's only natural. Okay, that does make sense. That's more than a third of your army bigger. Or no, I can't do fractions. Anyway, it bigger. It's twice your size. So, let's see. The opponent is Kisui of the former Regan Castle. A solid general who is bold but never makes mistakes. The difference in military strength will likely be reflected. Okay, hello, loud guy. Likely reflected directly in the battle situation. The only thing that can break this is the former Han forces that the Kyokai army has supposedly using, but uh, Shinsei unit is struggling. They are retreating. Dinten army or unit as well. Nanchin unit is fighting well, but part of it has collapsed. Dinkatsu unit is also requesting a second wave. Despite being a large army, they have no openings at all. That Bate army isn't showing its usual roughness either. They are extremely well trained. General, I think it's about time we rally on the power of the former Han army, or rely on it. Yes. Pardon me, wait. Hey, huh? General Kyokai, please forgive my rudeness in speaking directly, but I thought it was urgent. I am. Wait. What? Are you his son, by chance? Oh, that name does kind of. I am Rakio Sho, or, yeah, how do you pronounce it? How was I pronouncing it before? But yeah, it seems to be a member of his family. Sho entrusted with the command of 20,000 troops by General Yoku to come to General Kyokai's aid. I wish to receive permission to divide our 20,000 men into two groups of 10,000 and join the battle as both wings to stop the enemy's momentum. Eh? Raku'a. It's Raku'a Khan. Yeah. Could it be? I heard from General Yoku. I am grateful. I was thinking of having your army lend its strength a little later. No, it is no problem. At this moment, a terrifying imagination crossed the minds of the staff in the Kyokai camp. So, an extra 20,000, that'll even things out a bit closer, but that's still a 10,000 deficit. It was the thought of what would happen if the 20,000 former Han soldiers deployed to the left and right were to betray them. Although they had trained together for the past year and built trust, this was their first actual battle fighting together. If they were to revolt, the Kyokai army would be surrounded by a total of 70,000, and their breath would be stopped in an instant. I like that they said breath because of Kyokai. Furthermore, the one who appeared before them, appealing to join the war, was the young man believed to be the orphan of Raku'a Khan. Oh, so it is his son. Then I will move the army immediately. Let's go. Wait, Raku'a Sho. Although I did not cross blades with him directly, your father, Raku'a Khan, was a great general of Han. Do you hold no grudge against the Kin army that killed your father? General, so they're surprised at her bluntness. I am 16 now. I was not allowed to join the previous battle, and I was not called back from my training grounds. Thinking back now, I believe my father was preparing for every eventuality, and when Shintei fell and my father entered Ron Castle with his suicide squad, I rushed there as well, of course to die with him. But my father did not allow it, so he forbade you to join. If you are Raku'a Khan's son, inherit my will and move forward. Oh. Frustration and hatred are different. My father said before we parted, the Ken army I face has a highly honorable foe, or was a highly honorable foe. The two battles I lost were frustrating, but they were honorable. My father's eyes at that time were as proud as ever. Even so, it took me half a year to settle it within myself, the fact that Han perished and my father died. It is frustrating enough to tear this body apart. However, what is in this heart is not hatred. This is my true, unadorned sentiment right now. Is this answer acceptable, General Kyokai? Yeah, thank you. I think my subordinates are many times more relieved than if I had just said it was okay. No. We were, General Yoku was saying, Raku'a show your return has relieved the nobility that was once lost within the army, or revived the nobility. I intend to fight so as not to tarnish my father's name. We need a name from now on. Your army shall call itself the raku'a army. Oh, oh, this is gonna make him so endeared to her. Gratefully. The road ahead is long, Raku'a. Do not die. Okay, they're definitely not going to have to worry about any freaking betrayal, I would think. Because, like, with his own reservations and resolves, now with what she honored them by just calling them, the Raku'a army, makes it so much more to them now. So they roar and fight on. The 20,000 troops led by Raku'a, the keepsake of Raku'a Khan, entered both wings. The Kyokai army, now totaling 40,000, began to reverse the tide of battle against the 50,000 strong Kisui army. There was a man who was intently watching. Oh God, not you, sniper boy! Watching the former Han army's passionate fighting from afar. It was Sei Khan, who was heading north. The man ranked number 1 in the Tembos of China stood motionless like a stone for a while. The group led by Sei Khan, having started running again, moved swiftly and crossed the mountains like the wind, and finally they arrived at the battlefield of their target, the Haishin units, Rishin. Though it says Lishin for some reason. Next issue, targeted, Shin. So, yeah. Okay. This one went a little differently. Wasn't expecting that particular part of Han to be in the Kyokai forces. So Yoku is sent them over. Interesting. I wasn't aware that he had that authority because I think he's supposed to be underneath Shin, right? So did he get permission from Shin? Or am I missing something about the organization of different groups and of the armies? Because I seriously thought it would have been under Shin. But then again, Kyokai is technically under Shin as well, but she's revered as a general in her own right and titled as such. So, what is Yoku really? I don't think he's a general, though he is general class. I don't know. I assume there was some kind of permissions given to send over the 20,000. But interesting nonetheless that it was Raku'a Khan's only son. Raku'a Sho. So, with Sho now in the fight and his own personal, I kind of like the dude. He seems like an upstanding lad, and he's only 16, but he looks way older. He looks like he's on par with a lot of the main characters, like with Kyokai and Shin, like maybe younger, obviously, but not as big of a gap as I would have thought when we first saw him. So yes, he battled the demons of the past, of losing his homeland and his family, but fought them and defeated them and realized that life continues. wherever, you may end up, you must continue going forward. So, hmm, interesting. But, and we have a sniper. We have that sniper, Shay Khan, on, you know, Shin's peripheral now. So, I don't think he will be killing Shin. But the biggest development had to be the frickin' Hundred Eyes tribe. Like, my god, turns out they've been the secret strategists all along for Yotanwa and her proxy should anything happen to her. So, makes sense if they were the ones devising all of the strategies. So, I wonder if she aligned with them really early on. Because, like, all of her victories in joining the mountain tribes presumably are all indebted to them. So, yeah, that had to have been one of her first allies, if not the first ally. But also, I would love to know if Ten is actually related to these people. And the reason why she has an owl mask is because of the wise nature of them, but also because maybe that's all she remembered was like the two eyes, because they're drawn very similarly to what their masks are. So, like it's kind of funny because of the way that her outfit worked. When we first met her, it had kind of like the like whole full body poncho thing, and then if you look at the helmet, it kind of looks like a poncho on their face. So it's like that's a stupid theory, but hey, it would make a lot more sense now coming from you know 10. But like she's obviously not a true member of that family or that tribe. I would assume maybe there's like some connection somehow, but I obviously it's not. But it would be cool if there were a connection. Um, but yeah. Anyway, that's about all I have to say. Let me know your own thoughts and opinions. Anything I misunderstood, please let me know down below. Links down below for my socials. And as always, later days. And until next time, Keishlings, on to the next one. Woohoo!